David looked at the clock. 11:57 p.m. He sat at the dining table, body aching, eyes burning from exhaustion. He had worked a 12-hour shift today, driven nearly 100 miles to meet clients, then came home to cook, clean, and bathe the kids. Inside, the bedroom. Lisa was fast asleep, completely unaware that he was still awake. Beside her, their 4-year-old son, Tommy, was curled up, sleeping on their bed. David clenched his fists. 3 weeks now, every night, Tommy refused to sleep in his own room. If David tried to carry him there, the boy would wake up screaming, trembling as if he had just survived a nightmare. Lisa didn't care. Just let him sleep here. What's the big deal? He's just clingy. But David knew something was wrong. Tommy had never feared the dark, never had a problem sleeping alone. What had changed? And if David didn't find the answer, was this just the beginning of something even worse? David wasn't just exhausted from dealing with Tommy. He was crumbling under the weight of Lisa and his parents, too. He worked tirelessly from morning until night, carrying the entire family on his back. Lisa didn't work, didn't do house, chores, didn't even care for their kids. After a long day at work, David still had to cook, clean, do laundry, help with homework. Meanwhile, Lisa sat on the couch, scrolling through her phone, laughing with her friends, or out drinking. But what drove David insane the most? Lisa constantly accused him of cheating. She checked his phone every day. She threw fits if he responded to a female co-worker's text. She even messaged his boss once to confirm if David was really as busy as he claimed. David laughed bitterly. He had always been faithful. Always the one holding everything together. And yet he was the one being accused? Then came the final straw. His parents called. David, you need to pay for Emily's wedding. She's your sister. You can't refuse. Emily, his spoiled, entitled younger sister, had never worked a day in her life. She expected others to hand her everything on a silver platter. David sighed, a bitter smile on his lips. He had spent his entire life taking care of others. Lisa, his kids, his parents. But had anyone ever taken care of him? That night, David made a decision. He was going to find out why Tommy was terrified of his room. Once his son was asleep, David carefully carried him back to his bed. The room was just as it had always been, filled with toys, bathed in soft nightlight. Nothing unusual. But as soon as David laid Tommy down, the boy jerked awake, eyes wide with terror. No, no, I don't want to be here. David held him close, speaking gently. Son, tell me, what scares you in this room? Tommy sobbed, trembling, then slowly raised his finger. David turned to look. A giant superhero poster hung above the bed. Tommy whispered, "The demon face." David froze. That poster had been there for over a year. Why was Tommy scared of it now? But without hesitation, David removed it and stuffed it into the closet. Immediately, Tommy relaxed, sighing in relief. It's gone. Thank you, Daddy. David watched in shock as Tommy snuggled into bed and fell asleep almost instantly. A poster. That's all it took? But then, a horrifying thought crept into David's mind. What about his marriage? Was he also living with a demon face without realizing it? The next morning, David sat Lisa down for a talk. He wanted to fix their marriage, to bring their family back together. Lisa laughed in his face. You think you have the right to demand anything? Don't fool yourself, David. For the first time, David saw her for who she truly was. And then, he found out the truth. Lisa had been cheating on him. Not out of love, not out of passion, just to teach him a lesson, to let him feel what betrayal is like. David felt his heart shatter. He had spent his entire life loving her, enduring her baseless accusations, doing everything for their family. And this was what he got in return? Lisa shrugged, smirking. You won't leave me. You don't have the guts, David. Something snapped inside him. He had endured too much. His entire life he had sacrificed for others, his parents, Lisa, his kids. He had suffered her abuse, her disrespect, her paranoia. Enough. David took a deep breath, looked Lisa in the eyes, and said clearly, "Just like that poster in Tommy's room, this marriage is something I can't live with anymore." Lisa froze. She never expected David to actually leave, but it was too late. David walked out, and he never looked back. As he drove, Tommy sat in the back seat, smiling happily. "Daddy, where are we going?" David smiled back. "Somewhere better, son." For the first time in years, David felt free, thank you, for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so, and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.